In this week's fantasy episode of the Sonny and Share pod, we go through Game Week 29's top point scorers. Then we talk about how to navigate the next few game weeks and what is a sensible chip strategy to use if you still have any of your chips left. With a blank game week coming up this week in 31, a double coming up in game week 33, another blank coming up in game week 34, and another potential double in game week 36. Welcome to the Sonny and Share pods. Me and Butler again this week. Seems to be a bit of a theme on a Tuesday night. Ben is well and truly, even though he is the fantasy maestro, he is sacked off this fantasy episode. I would actually quite like to hear some of his fantasy strategy, particularly what we're going to talk about tonight. But it's down to me and you, mate. How are you? Another win at the weekend?
Yeah, it's only taken me 30 game weeks to win 3 in a row, but I'm there. It's a bit too late. I think what have we got? We've got 5 game weeks to go. That's 15 points. I'm 14 points off the playoffs. Could I still make it?
Mathematically still possible, but you need a lot to go your way. Pretty much everyone above you to lose all 6.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. So I think my main fight is, I think I'm 7 points away from the trophy build now, so I could be okay away from that, but it's now the relegation from 18th. So yeah, and I could still win manager of the month. So
that little run has,
you never know.
Yeah, that little run has lifted you away from that relegation zone, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's massive. Absolutely massive. And I mean, as we're recording this, I've got I'm trying to got football on. I'm checking the Champions League. Wimbledon are playing. Wimbledon went from 2-1 up to 3-2 down in the space of 10 minutes. Oh, it's madness. And what's going on in the Champions League? Chelsea are losing badly. So City have scored. It's 1-1.
It's interesting.
But what's that? 4-1 on aggregate.
Yeah.
Haaland scored. Is that a thing?
Yeah, I saw that. Did you see that first PSG goal as well against Chelsea?
No, was it Kvaratskhelia? Oh my god!
Yeah, just
unreal,
literally a hump upfield, and it was Sarr just got in a muddle and like didn't know where the ball was, like misjudged it, like hit his foot and then just bounced to Kvaratskhelia and he just buried it. And the second goal was an absolute worldie from Barcola as well. Like,
so they were 6-2 down on aggregate inside 7 minutes.
Yeah, literally. They look all over the shop as well, Chelsea at the moment. They've got so many injuries as well, haven't they? They've got no defenders, pretty much.
Yeah, but they've been a bit like that all season. They've never really, their defence has been a bit. They had that period in Maresca where they couldn't win a game, and now it's happening the same again. I just don't think they've got any leaders in there, to be honest. No defensive leaders apart from Reece James.
It's happening the same way, isn't it? Maresca had a bounce to start with, and then obviously the Club World Cup, and then it just nosedived, didn't it? When he started to tinker around with the team, like Rafinha's doing that. The back four is just a mess, and now Fofana's injured. James has done his hamstring again. Not too bad. Badiashiel's out. Like, they got no one.
Yeah, it's a bit messy for them, but I might have to stay away from Chelsea.
Yeah, we'll get onto it later with regards to sort of what teams are doing what, but we'll just have a quick look at game week 30, actually, not 29, as I said in the intro, but game week 30 just gone was definitely another week for the differentials. Only 13 players returned a double-digit haul this week. 7 of those were under 3% owned. Another was 3.1% owned, and Anthony Gordon with an 11-point haul was 5.3% owned. 9 of the 13 players were under 6% owned across the game. We haven't seen one of those game weeks for a while. The average was sort of 43, a very, very low average. But just to go through a few players, we had Senesi rewarded his owners with back-to-back double-digit point hauls, scoring 10 points in Bournemouth's 0-0 draw to Burnley, away with a clean sheet and yet another 2 DEFCON points, making that 22 out of 30 games this season where he's passed the threshold of 10 defensive contributions. Hill as well, he got 8. I actually bought him in and left him on the bench, which was clever again. Didn't matter because I won, but
Oh, Bournemouth. But,
their
I don't
defense
think they've
looks
lost
pretty
in
solid.
6, I think I read somewhere, didn't I? They haven't lost a
Yeah,
game in 6.
their defense is really, really solid, isn't it, at the moment? I'm just looking at their
All of a
next
sudden, they've gone
fixtures,
on a bit of a run.
and they've got United at home, Arsenal away, Newcastle away. Pretty tough. But then after that, they've got Leeds at home, Palace at home, Fulham away. So if you've got your Bournemouth assets, I'd definitely be keeping them at the moment, particularly defensively. Maybe not attacking wise, because they don't seem to be scoring any goals. Um, that's 2-0 draws in a row. So they've only scored one in the last four, which is not good reading, is it, for attacking players? But we will move on. Dominic Szoboszlai rewarded his loyal owners with an 11-point haul in Liverpool's 1-1 draw with Spurs on Sunday, with a goal and 2 DEFCON points with 14 contributions. And the main talking point of the weekend was who to captain, and as there were many viable options. Bruno Fernandes rewarded the 1.1 million fantasy Premier League managers who handed in the captain's armband with 2 assists and a share of the bonus points as Manchester United beat Villa 3-1 at Old Trafford. The United captain notched his 6th consecutive double-digit haul at Old Trafford and has 5 in his last 8 game weeks. His next home match is in game week 32 with Leeds, when Fernandes was also the number 1 armband pick amongst the top 100 managers in fantasy. The Portugal international now has 23 attacking returns this season with 7 goals and 16 assists. He is well on course to break that record, isn't he? Is it 20 assists, is it, mate?
Yeah, well, he's already broken the Manchester United 1 season record, hasn't he? So
Yeah.
he beat Beckham's this weekend by getting those 2. I mean, that pass for the second goal. Oh,
Oh, mate,
for
poetry, wasn't it?
Cunha's goal. It was such a he is right now probably the best. Him and as we said last week on the pod, if you don't have Gabriel and Fernandez, what are you doing?
What are you
Because
at?
they're automatic points right now.
It's
Automatic.
It is crazy. The cat, because we were having a chat, weren't we? Me,
I
you, and
think
Ben.
between them they got half my points.
Yeah, we were having a chat, weren't we, about captaincy beforehand.
Uh,
And to be fair to you, you stuck with your gut with Semenyo, which on another day would have been really good. We had Haaland as well, but me and Ben went for Fernandez, which obviously paid off hugely because all those other captaincy options, apart from Thiago, who scored last night, blanked. But I was debating it, and I just went on TikTok, and some bloke I just looked it up, and he said, "Well, Fernandez is guaranteed 90." And that's what did it for me. Like, I know Semenyo is, but like with Champions League and Haaland and Ekatike was benched, and it all just sort of fell into place for me this week, which it felt like one of those weeks where everything went right. But at the start of the week, I was losing my head, wasn't I, with Dubravka and Hill on the bench, but it all worked out at the end. But is Fernandez one of those you could captain, set and forget captain until
he
the
could
season's out?
he could well be. He could be in that. He's definitely in that bracket now, isn't he? Because as you say, he's on pens as well, isn't he? So, I mean, yeah, possibly United. United are flying, and they don't have any Europe to worry about, so they get a nice rest every week.
I think
Um,
that was another factor I loved as well. He's playing once a week, and it's funny because I wasn't actually watching the game at the weekend, but I saw Casemiro scored, and then I just knew, and I literally didn't even check, and then you text into our group saying Bruno. I just knew it was an assist because Casemiro. How would he score without a Bruno assist? You know?
I think he's going to be a loss to them, Casemiro, if he is actually leaving at the end of the season,
Yeah, he's been
because
excellent.
he's phenomenal in both boxes, defensively and attacking wise.
Yeah,
He's been brilliant for them, especially the second half of this season. So it'll be interesting to see if they now try and offer him a
a
new
deal just to
contract,
keep him going. Yeah, because he
even if
is
it's just like a
finding
one
form.
year,
Yeah,
you
just to
know.
keep him going. I completely agree
Yeah.
with that. But right, let's get on to the main topic tonight. This is definitely worth a listen, I think, particularly if you are concerned or worried about what to do if you have chips. If you haven't got that many chips, it's going to be hard to navigate anyway. You won't have to make too many decisions, or think about it too much. But me and Butler are just going to go through the upcoming week. So firstly, we have the first blank game week of the season this weekend, blank game week 31. Teams that are going to blank are Arsenal, City, Wolves, and Palace. However, there is still a 5 to 10% chance that City and Palace could still be placed back into game week 31 with their fixture if they both get knocked out of Europe this week. So I think it's definitely happening to City as they're drawing 1-1 but are 4-1 down on aggregate to Real Madrid. And Palace only drew 0-0 with AEK Larnaca at Sellers Park last Thursday and have to go away to Cyprus on Thursday night. So I think the first piece of advice moving forward is to hold your transfers as late as you can this week until everything has unfolded. But let's just talk about this game week to start with, mate. What are your plans, or what were your plans?
Well, what are my plans?
Maybe talk about what your
Uh,
plans initially were. What were you thinking to do this week?
well, because of where I sit in our head-to-head league, in terms of head-to-head, it was mainly for a head-to-head tactical reason. I was going to play my free hit so I can win manager of the month, basically.
I love that. I love that.
So that's still very much on the cards. That could happen this weekend. However, the fact that you've just thrown this spanner in the works that City could actually play in game week 31 against Palace may change my plan because of what comes up in the following weeks. So you've thrown a spanner in my plans, basically. It's how much do I just want to win manager a month compared to do I want to avoid relegation?
Yeah, it is a tricky one. It is a tricky one because I've sort of been making transfers every week for about 3 weeks now to sort of I got rid of Rice a couple of weeks ago, and just to sort of so that I can get through this game week and then look ahead to the blank in 34 when we'll talk about in a second, but actually more teams blank than this potentially. But I'm looking at, so I've got Timber, Gabriel, Semenyo and Haaland. I was looking at doing literally a straight swap Haaland to Ekatike, which I do not mind at all, to be honest.
But
What do you think
Liverpool
about that
are
swap? I know
no,
it's a
Liverpool are annoying me. I suppose we don't need to talk about it now. We can talk about it more on Thursday. But I wanted to ask the question: has Arnie Slot lost the Liverpool fans because they booed him off,
yeah.
and they don't normally do that. They're quite loyal, Liverpool
It's a
fans. But that's a
shocking
topic
second
for
half, wasn't it? Shocking second
yeah.
half.
They just sleepwalked into that result. You could see it coming. Yes, potentially that's probably you could do that. I'm in a similar boat to you in the fact that I've got Raya, Gabriel, Semenyo, and Haaland and Gurhi, so I have 5,
Yeah, that's
which is
tough.
a bit of a pickle. Because it will mean for me to have a full team, I will have to take minus points. To make sure that I can do that. Yes, you could go to Liverpool, but I think again it depends what they do. They've got a game tomorrow night, haven't they?
Yeah, it's
Um,
tough. Or get rid of Timber. That was my other shout. I know I'm not sure the
yeah.
extent of his injury. He again, classic him coming off. I knew they were going to keep Aquino as soon as he came off as well, but just swapping him for another defender would make things easier. But then, as we'll go on to now, there is a double game week in 33. It's not confirmed yet which teams will double. So when we talk about 33 and 34 and 36 here, nothing is set in stone yet, just to remind people, but just a heads up. And what I'm going to give you is some sort of percentages, teams that are likely to, teams that will possibly double in game week 33. Game week 33, teams that are likely got a double. So 75 to 90% chance of a double game week are Arsenal. They've got City away, Newcastle at home potentially. Brighton will have Spurs away, Chelsea at home. Chelsea will have United at home, Brighton away. and Newcastle will have Bournemouth at home and Arsenal away. So Arsenal, Brighton, Chelsea, Newcastle, very likely to double in game week 33. And there's 4 other teams who could potentially double. Burnley potentially may have Forest away, City at home. Palace may have West Ham at home, Liverpool away. Liverpool potentially have Everton away, Palace at home. And City could have Arsenal at home, Burnley away. Obviously, we're looking at those first 4 teams with them being more likely, but we're probably not going to know anything until in the midweek before the game week 32 deadline, just to give everyone a heads up there. But if we look at those teams likely to double, Arsenal, Brighton, Chelsea, Newcastle. So that makes me not want to take Timber out. So I'm going to have to get him back in. I suppose we'll have a game week in between where we can
But
work it out.
I think from our point of view, for head to head, we're all going to be in the same situation,
Yeah,
right? So it's gonna come down to who's got what chips left, I
absolutely.
think. So those of you that will have a wild card still and a free hit, you're in a great position. Realistically, you could set yourself up very nicely. Those of you that have no chips left or only 1 chip, it's going to have to be managed very carefully, and you're likely to either take the risk that your opponent is going to be the same as you,
Yeah.
or you're going to be taking multi-minus to each week to hopefully counteract the fact that your opponent won't do that. Do you see what I
Yeah,
mean? So,
it is. It is. I think the doubles, not so hard to negate. It's these blank game weeks, isn't it? I think it's
and
what you
how
do.
certain are we
Obviously,
that that's definitely going to be a thing? Like, are they definitely going to be blanks? The Premier League aren't going to try and fit the games in within the same week,
the only thing that I've heard is that City Palace game is one that's going to be fit in. It's either going to come in game week 36 or it's going to be put into this game week depending on
right?
Europe.
Okay.
That's what I've heard. But so the double, like we said, the double game week, obviously we want to target these players. I think the chip, if you've got it to use, would be your bench boost in this week. I think maybe try and hold the free hit this week. Then, if you got your wild card, you would wild card in 32, set yourself up for that double, and then use your free hit in 34 just to negate the blank, and you're absolutely flying. What do you think about that? That is an ideal scenario, and I know a few lads in our league have got that, but this is the sort of all the FPL people that are chasing rank. That's what I've heard people are thinking
Mm,
about doing, which
makes
is
sense.
I'm a bit jealous of that now. I'm not going to lie, but as we
Yeah.
had our hands tied, mate, we were fighting for wins anyway. So we've got our 3 hits, haven't we? So let's just move on to blank game week 34. This is the real conundrum. So all those teams that doubled are likely to double in 33 are likely to blank in 34. So you're talking Arsenal, Brighton, Chelsea, Newcastle, 85 to 90% chance of blanking. So basically, you're getting them in your team. That's why it's a beauty of doing the wild card and having the free hit after. You can put them all in your team for the double. Then it's negated by the blank. Other possible teams that could blank in 34 are Burnley, Palace, Liverpool, and City. Again, if they double in 33. So basically, the teams that double in 33 are going to blank in 34, whoever they may be.
You know what you need to do is what you've written down. So those of you that can't see, CJ is like, I don't think you can see it because of my background. But what CJ, you should if you've got it on
Shall I
your
share
phone or
it? Shall I
something,
share it? Shall I?
yeah, you should share what you've written, because to listen to it is very confusing, whereas to what you've written is quite clear. So I think those of you that are listening to it, what Siege will do is you can send it to me, Siege, and we'll try and put it into some type of post, social media
Yeah.
post, we can share with people. So if you're listening, wait for that on socials or in our WhatsApp group. Those of you that are watching on YouTube, or just tune in on YouTube and just have a look to what CJ's got. you want to just talk us through again that a bit quicker, Siege, based on what you're showing now on the screen, going
Yeah,
back to
so double game week 33. So I've got here teams that are likely having a double in green, which we just talked about: Arsenal, Brighton, Chelsea, Newcastle. So they've got a 75 to 90% chance of doubling. Then other four teams that have a possible, I've got them in orange. They're 35 to 55%. So sort of maybe doubling. That's Burnley, Palace, Liverpool, and City. And those teams who double in 33 are definitely going to blank in 34. So we're looking at Arsenal, Brighton, Chelsea, Newcastle. If they have doubles in 33, for sure will blank in 34. And then any out of those teams, Burnley, Palace, Liverpool, or City, any of those that double in 33, they will also blank. Okay. And then there's going to be potentially another double, one more to finish the season in 36, which will be a very, very easy to negate. We're looking at the moment, it's going to be Palace and City. So Palace having Everton at home and City at home, and then City having Brentford at home and Palace at home. So, sorry, Palace away. But as we spoke about earlier, if things don't go to plan in Europe this week, particularly for Palace, that could be moved to game week 31. So if that does happen, then there will not be any blanks or doubles after game week 34, which would be quite handy. But that's going to be quite an easy blank to negate at the end of the season, depending on what happens. But it's just that City Palace fixture. I don't think they know where they're going to put that in just yet. But
yeah, that will I think be really key now to seeing if that is the case, right? And then Palace lose to on Thursday, and then they fit the City because City play on Sunday, right? The cup finals Sunday.
yes,
So you'd assume then that the game is probably going to be Tuesday, Wednesday,
yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
if Palace go out of Europe.
Yeah,
Because I think the City game's pretty much over now, right? So we're looking at they've not scored it again.
no,
So oh good, Wimbledon have lost 4-2. Brilliant. Dan Ballard scored a bloody hat trick. That bloke. God's sake. Looks like so City, yeah, they're pretty much out. Chelsea are definitely out. They're 8-2 down on aggregate now. And Arsenal are definitely through. So yeah, I think it will come down to that. I think it'd be interesting to see what they do. I'd assume that the smart thing to do, they'd try and fit it in this game week if neither of them have Europe next week. So I would assume they'd want to fit it in sooner rather than later.
yeah, it would. It's really interesting because, like, you have to have Haaland for a double game week if you've got him. Do you know what I mean? Him and Semenyo, if you've got Gay as well, like, it would really be really helpful for you, wouldn't it? To be honest, mate, if those
Yes,
three
please.
do play. And like, if we're
Yeah,
talking
I only
about
need to take one transfer
Gazzy
then.
T's got 5 City players. Like, he's in real trouble if he hasn't got a free hit. Has he got his free hit, Gazzy T?
Well, he's not going to use it, is he? Let's be honest. I don't think he's
He's
even
not going to
playing.
use it. Let me have a look.
No, because
Uh,
I think if he tries to use it, he has to take all his City players out. So he might as
yeah, so he's not going to do it. Yeah, it's interesting though, because what is your? I know we'll just gloss over it again. Chip strategy for the upcoming weeks. If you have all your chips, what would you do, mate? If you had all of them, if you have the
think. So let's make the assumption then that City and Arsenal then blank this coming week, and that game's
yeah,
moved to 36, right? So with all those, I'm assuming the other blanks are because of the FA Cup. So if that's the case, I think for that week you free hit when they're all blanking,
34, yeah, blank 34, yeah,
and then you wild card immediately after that smartly in the fact that you can then leave those blanking teams' strongest players on your bench
yeah,
and have a relatively strong team to survive the following week. I think it's quite complicated. It's not as straightforward as, oh, I'll just free hit then wild card, because it's a lot of teams. So I suppose it's dependent on who you really want in your team. And as we've seen with this season in fantasy, players are just, apart from Gabriel and Fernandez, it's so difficult to find. You've got to land on the right player at the right time. Just because their fixtures are nice means nothing. I mean, look at Ekatike,
Yeah.
prime example. And Liverpool. They've had a lovely fixture run, but they've lost to Wolves and drawn to Spurs.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like if you're looking at teams to target, you are looking at that double game week. You're looking at Arsenal. You're looking potentially at Newcastle now, Chelsea. I've got Sanchez in goal, but I'm thinking, do I just keep him? But he hasn't kept a clean in about 30 games. Do you know what I mean? It's one of those.
And the
Castle. There's a
conceded
lot of
three.
noise. There's a lot of noise about Anthony Gordon. So he's definitely, I think, one to look at, particularly if he is playing in that striker role. So he's got 11 points. So he's got 2 goals in 2 games, 11 points against Chelsea, 7 against United. They have Sunderland at home at the weekend, Palace away, Bournemouth at home. So him potentially for 33, along with maybe Malik Chow at the back, wouldn't be a bad shout. So if you're swapping Timber out, do you want to bring Chow in potentially for this game week? That wouldn't be a bad move. That's what I'm
Lewis
maybe
Hall.
looking at.
Lewis Hall's a
Yeah,
good
Lewis
one, yeah.
Hall, absolutely. Yeah, Hall potentially, but no, it's it's a hard one to negate. I think I'm actually feeling that we're in a better position because we don't have those chips. To be honest,
Yeah,
like
we're just
we're
gonna have
sort of
to wing it.
we're either free hitting this week or we're free hitting in 34, aren't we?
Yeah,
Realistically,
and
that's what we're
I
doing.
think it,
So
it comes down to the situation on the league and where you want to take that risk. So for people like Charlie, who has no chips, uh, he's got nothing
dead
to
and
lose.
buried. Yeah, he's gone.
He's got nothing to lose. So he could, you know what he could do this week? He could take -12, for example, and prep his team ready for all those. But what you could do, I suppose, is then take the risk of Arsenal are likely going to double blank and double game week at some point, right? So do you take the risk of shifting them all out entirely now,
Yeah,
in the fact that they're
true.
blanking now and then they're going to blank again and then getting them back when they double? So
That's the thing.
it's taking that risk of, okay, fine, I'll survive without Arsenal players for the next 3 weeks and
Yeah.
see where we're at. And then
It is
once that's
crazy though, but
done,
like you
come
you
back to it.
want you definitely want a couple of those defenders for the double game week, don't you? I know it didn't pan out the other one, but even if they keep 2 cleanos, you're laughing. If you got 2 of them, do you know what I mean? That's where. But then I don't think there's any point taking Timber out and bringing him back in. Is that a waste of a transfer? Like, is there any point doing that? Probably not.
The
So I
only
think you,
Arsenal player I would do that with is Gabriel.
yeah,
You know, you take that risk of, or he's the only one you keep in, and you just put him on the bench for the blanks because you don't want to risk losing him because he's that good. But then
that's it.
the other thing that comes on that is fixture congestion. Really, right? Arsenal are going to play a lot of games now
Yeah,
from now until the end of the season with the cup final there. They're still. I mean, I think the league's pretty much done, but if they've still got Champions League, he's going to have this predicament of, do I start resting players now? There's a lot of games coming thick and fast. I'm still in the FA Cup. Um, so the other point in it for managers to consider is, will players be rested in from league
true.
games now?
Very true.
If they've still, because teams like Aston Villa, their only way into the Champions League now, really, because the form. I mean, apart from Liverpool, just decide they don't want to be in the Champions League, is probably winning the Europa League if they continue this bad league form. Emery's going to have to prioritise one.
Yeah,
Which one is it? What's he got? What's he got a better chance of getting in the Champions League? Is it the league or is it winning the Europa League? You know,
yeah,
and whereas for Liverpool, again, it's the same question. What are you prioritising? Do you really think you've got a chance to win the Champions League? Probably not. So if they,
no,
we'll see what they do tomorrow night. If Liverpool go through, I think that's a bigger predicament, and I think we see
yeah.
bigger rotation from them. We'll see. We will see.
That's it. Very tough, but we'll finish it there. Lots to think about, and let us know what you're thinking of doing. We're putting this out onto YouTube, but yeah, let us know what you're doing in the comments, because everyone is in a different position now, and I think we are in an equally different position with our head-to-head league. It's completely different. Like, I'm looking at Smithy's team and what he's doing, how many chips he's got. He's actually got all his chips, I think. So he's probably going to do something
Yeah, but
against
then you
me.
can
Do you know what I
really
mean?
overthink it, can't you, with all those
Absolutely.
chips?
That's it. That's it. But we will look ahead to game week 31, and we'll discuss it more on Friday when Ben will be back with us, just to go through game week 30's key battles and preview game week 31, because it really is crunch time now. Particularly that race to the playoffs, it's really, really hotting up, and we'll discuss it more on Friday. But tune in, because it really is the business end of the season. And we did say last week the top six are in the playoffs, but I'm not sure that is the case anymore. I don't think. Trav and Balf really need to look over their shoulder, because there's a lot of lads coming now, down to 11th, I would say. But we'll talk about that
But
more
what
on
about
Friday.
16th, mate? Down to 16th where I am.
Yeah, if you mate, what are you on? If you get above 50 points, you've done very well from where you were, I think.
Well, I'm on 37 now with 50, we've got 15 points left to win. So
Yeah,
I would be delighted if I get to 50 points from there.
that'd be strong. That would be strong.
That's pretty much winning every game now to the end of the season. That's an 8-game winning streak.
You've got it. You've got it in you, I think, mate. You've got it in you. You need a bit of luck this year, to be fair.
Well, I've finally got it. I've won 3 in a
Yeah,
row. That's all I
you
wanted to
have.
do. I don't think I've won 3 in a row forever. So I think I'm just delighted to be there.
Right,
But
mate.
yeah,
Do you want to do the
great.
honours?
Cheers. Yeah. May the fantasy gods be with you all. Cheers,
See you
Steve.
Friday.
See you Friday.